Thousands of people from all over the United States descended into downtown Washington on Saturday for a women's march in opposition to the agenda and rhetoric of President Donald Trump, with sister rallies being held in hundreds of cities across the world in solidarity. The Women's March on Washington featured speakers, celebrity appearances, and a protest walk along the National Mall as a counter-argument to Donald Trump's populist presidential campaign, in which he singled out and said demeaning things about women, immigrants, and Muslims.
After the election, we were deeply disappointed by the results, and I have a daughter, and our feeling is that what we saw in the election really demonstrated an attitude towards women that is, pervasive and unpleasant, and we really need to show our solidarity against that.
Stay tuned to therealnews.com for our in-depth, on-the-ground reporting from the Women's March. The march comes just a day after the nation's capital was rocked by violent protests against Trump, with black-clad anti-establishment activists smashing windows, setting vehicles on fire, and police cracking down with tear gas and rubber bullets. The protests illustrated the depth of the anger in a deeply divided country still recovering from the scarring 2016 presidential campaign. The Women's March is intended as an outlet for women and men who consider themselves feminists to vent their frustration and anxiety over Trump's victory. It spotlights the fierce opposition Trump faces as he takes office, a period that is typically more of a honeymoon than a hate fest. Trump has already removed references to climate change, civil rights, LGBT rights, and healthcare from the White House website.
Each one of you is an individual that made a powerful decision, a choice to be here today. You took time out of your busy schedules, piled on buses and trains, slept on floors, and paid your own way because you believe in the fundamental principle that we matter. Women matter. And we will not be shy about standing up to what matters to us.
Meanwhile, thousands of women took to the streets across the world, including London, to join sister marches against the newly installed president. Worldwide, some 670 marches were planned, according to the organizers' website. In Europe, marches took place in Berlin, Paris, Rome, Vienna, Geneva, and Amsterdam.
Having Trump is kind of significant in that it's galvanized hundreds of thousands of people like this to say, actually, a lot of people would have felt embarrassed to call themselves a feminist, maybe. But, when you really see that if the President of the United States can say he's going to grab someone's pussy, you see just how close to the surface that kind of culture is.
Go to therealnews.com for our full coverage of Donald Trump's inauguration and the Women's March on Washington. For The Real News, this is Jess Lenore.